What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Triple Threat Analysis podcast. It is just I, David, and my friend Glenn here today. Nick is nowhere to be seen. Priorities, man. He doesn't have them, I guess. We're here right after Raw. We're going to tell you guys about all the important things that have been happening. But first, Glenn, how you doing, man?
I can't believe Nick left us for an exhibition baseball game, but we're wrestling fans and he's an exhibition baseball fan. What can we
Yeah,
say?
yeah, right. All right, well, let's not waste any time. Let's just hop right into it. We're gonna kind of cover the main things. Like I said, we did miss last week's recap episode, so we're just kind of cover the main things that have been going on both on Raw and SmackDown. Give you guys our thoughts on everything that's been going on, and just make it real nice, smooth, and easy this week. So I think let's kind of start out on the lower end. Not a title situation, not anything serious, but there's been a lot of stuff going on between Brock and Oba. So I'm gonna kick it right over to you, Glenn. Let's hear your thoughts on what's been going on between those two.
Yeah, if you guys heard what we said in the previous podcast, we just said we do not mess this up. Do not give us Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Give us Oba Lesnar. They gave it to us, and now we're seeing Oba finally come into form. We're hearing the crowd immediately turn on Brock Lesnar, go straight to Oba, which is exactly what's needed. I am getting a little worried, like I told David earlier. Usually, when a guy starts dominating a certain matchup before the pay per view, PLE, whatever you want to call it, they lose. They usually say, all right, well, you can have the quote unquote regular season, and I get the playoffs. I get to win
Yeah,
in the playoffs. But like David said, and I'm sure he'll say after, we got time. So I'm just a little worried right now because
yeah,
it's a little bit. I don't think you could afford Oba to lose at WrestleMania. No matter how
no,
good he looks the entire time, if he
yeah,
loses, you immediately put a big dent
yeah.
in his entire run. So what do you think about that?
No, I agree. I mean, that's what I've been saying all along. Anytime we talk about the situation, I've been saying like Oba has to win. Brock cannot win at WrestleMania. Like Brock has to let him go over. And you know what? Like when you watch their first interaction last week when Seth was involved and stuff like that, like you can almost pick out the exact point where Brock looked up at Oba and said, "Put your foot on my chest." Like, and I don't want to dive that deep and be in all the like insides and stuff. Like we can have Unreal for that. But I think we know from Brock being in the business for so long, like when Brock wants to put somebody over, he's going to do it. And
Gonna do it, yeah.
that's the hope that I have. It does look like that he's willing to do that for Oba and let Oba be the next, basically Brock Lesnar in this business. I think it's been built really well. I think having Heyman continue to bounce back and forth has kept it really interesting. I think giving us the swerve because a lot of people, like you said, were expecting Brock and Seth now that Seth attacked Paul and stuff like that, and to have the swerve and just have Oba come out and Seth laughing in the corner, like there was definitely a thought in my head for a couple seconds that wait, maybe Oba's gonna align with Seth, like maybe they're not gonna have him be on his own, maybe they're gonna align him with Seth and give him that real extra push like they were trying to do with Braun and Bronson and those guys, but obviously, that ended up not happening, but it was still a great interaction. I think it's been great so far, and I'm excited for their WrestleMania match.
Yeah, and last thing, I think the thing I'm most excited about is the crowd didn't turn on Oba already.
Yeah,
Like I was a little concerned. Like Brock Lesnar is a polarizing human being, polarizing figure in this business.
yeah,
A lot of people like me are big Brock Lesnar guys, and I've cheered him every step of the way, no matter who he's faced, all the time. I was concerned that some
yeah,
people would just still be on Brock's side here, and Oba wouldn't get. Nope. In fact, it's louder than
yeah.
it's ever been for Oba. So I
The
am thankful for the crowd for that because
the
if
joke
you,
the joke of the Goldberg chant coming back to haunt Brock,
yeah,
like it sounds eerily similar when Oba's coming out. But as long as there's nothing else to talk about with Brock and Oba, we can move right on. Let's go into the women's side a little bit. Let's go on to Jade and Rhea. There's been a lot of, kind of controversy in the internet wrestling community going into this matchup, from what we've seen so far in their promos on SmackDown and stuff like that. Um, I'll kind of start this one off a little bit because I'm actually on the side of I have been entertained by the promos between Jade and Rhea. I do think they have been really good. Like a lot of people are just like, "Oh, we've heard well, I'm more muscular than you. I have bigger muscles." Like, yes, we have, but we haven't really heard it from women that often. Like that's the different thing. Like, yes, it's something we've heard in WWE before. We always hear guys, "I've got bigger muscles than you. I'm stronger than you." Blah blah blah. Like, how often do we have two of the strongest women in WWE facing off against each other? Like, not since back in the day when it was, Natalia and Beth Phoenix and stuff like that, where it was actually strong women going out there. Now that we have Jade and Rhea, like you kind of have to make that part of the conversation. They are both strong, muscular, big women, and they make that part of their character So I think having that conversation is fine. Hopefully, eventually they move off that a little bit more, of course. But like usual, my only worry for this match is Jade. Like I love Rhea. Rhea can make anybody look really good, but Jade has made improvements. I I I'm very interested to see her on that WrestleMania stage. What are you thinking, Glenn?
Honestly, a lot of the hate is coming from people who just don't like Jade. This could have been the greatest conversation ever between Rhea and Jade. I mean, it wasn't. I'm saying it could
Yeah.
have been, and people would still have hate and say, "Oh, it's trash," and no one wants to see this just because they don't like Jade or they don't trust her wrestling skills or they don't think that it's going to be a good match. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the only match that could have happened where I'd be this excited for. If it was
Yeah.
Jade versus anyone else, I'd be like, all right, maybe it might be tough in a wrestling
Yeah.
match. But if you watched, Jade, Naomi, back when Jade can wrestle, it's just she seems a little stiff sometimes. But when she starts to get moving, she's off the top rope. She's making she can get in there and wrestle. People just want to
Hmm.
like the IWC likes to retweet her too damn much or X, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it now. Just watch her. Watch her. I know it's tough because she hasn't wrestled in so long. Like that's another thing.
Yeah.
She's been off out of the ring just talking and saying I'm that bitch 47 times. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well, we want to watch her wrestle, but she don't ever wrestle. So I get it, but give her a chance. This is going to be a great match. I've been highly entertained. The back and forth's been great. They've done it on X. They've done it on, in the ring. Nothing said is untrue for either side either.
Yeah.
Everything said has been true. This isn't lies. This isn't like CM Punk and Roman Reigns. They've said a couple of lies. We'll get into that later. But this is just everything they said is true. They are both strong ass women. This is two titans of women's wrestling going at each other. I'm hyped for it for WrestleMania. I'm not bored. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be a great match. It's going to be an underrated match going into it. Hopefully they can deliver. If they don't, I'm happy to say you guys, well, not happy, but I'll
Yeah.
be more than, you guys were right. But I think you're wrong right now. I think great match. It should be a great match. And I love the back and forth repartee between them both. It's been great.
I agree. And then one more thing again, just like last time before we move on, something that just happened on SmackDown in this feud. Eichin and BFAB come out while Jade and Rhea are going, kind of doing their little back and forth thing. And it looks like Jade has finally beat their ass enough to
All right.
to win them over. And are we kind of getting the Vision 2.0 thing going on? Like Bronson beat up Seth so bad they just finally he was like, "Oh, I respect you now. Like, come on, let's go." But it's kind of the opposite way because Jade has been beating the crap out of them. So it is kind of interesting to see what's going to happen there. But do you think this is just like a small ploy in the lead up to WrestleMania? Do you think Meechin and BFAB are really going to have a play in WrestleMania? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know if they interfere in the match or anything like that, but what happens when everyone says somebody's not great on the mic, someone's not the greatest wrestler ever, but they have the look and the feel of a champion like Jade? What happens? You pair them up with people. You have other people do
Hmm.
the dirty work. Yep. I honestly feel like Jade will win at WrestleMania. I feel like she will have the belt, and these two will help because they'll be her little lackeys. They'll do whatever she tells them to do, and it always makes you look stronger when you're the leader of anything. So I think
Definitely.
this is something that could, and I think it's a great move. I was shocked. I did not expect it at all. Finally, we got a nice little turn here, and just it adds something to a match that a lot of people aren't as excited for as they should be. So
Yeah.
I am excited. Maybe they do something, and then maybe Io Sky can come out and like try to help
Yeah.
Rhea. But then maybe Io says, "You know what? You left me. I'm out." We could get a lot. A lot of things could
Yeah.
happen, and that's just, so I like the build up for that. I really do.
Yep, and obviously, as of now, Io is still kind of directionless in the lead up to WrestleMania, which is crazy to say because realistically, she's probably the best women performer on the roster. But so she could be open for some involvement in this match. But I think Glenn and I both agree we're excited for this still so far. It has been entertaining. It's been building our excitement for WrestleMania, which is not very long away at this point. But we got two more title matches to get into. I think those are the main things that we need to talk about tonight. The first one, let's talk about Randy and Cody Rhodes. They're gonna, most likely main event night one, so we'll talk about them first. Obviously, last week when we missed, we would have been talking about the initial turn. The contract signing is something that we missed. There should have been, we Randy obviously turning and just beating the crap again out of Cody Rhodes, leaving him a bloody mess outside of the ring. And then last week, doubling down, kind of starting to do it to Matt Cardona as well and stuff like that. I mean, this is Randy Orton. This is the true Viper. This is the Legend Killer. This is like back to '09, like Randy at his best. Fans are going to cheer him no matter what. It's Randy Orton, but heel Randy Orton is truly the best version of Randy Orton that we're going to get in a WWE ring, on the mic, whatever the case is. So, what are your thoughts on it, Glenn?
I'll give you two separate thoughts. One about what's actually happening now, and just another thought about Randy Orton. The first thing about what's going on now, obviously, uh, like we said, when Orton first had Cody Rhodes, you kind of knew it was gonna happen. He's talking like on the SmackDown, previous SmackDown. He's like, I love Cody Rhodes like a bro, and I'm like, oh my god, please stop with the nonsense. Like we don't want to hear this. And then Cody comes out, and I'm like, all right, just please do something. RKO the hell out of him, kick him,
Yeah,
whatever. And then he bloodies him up. He takes the chair, and the sound was sickening. Obviously, it's not didn't hit him, but just the sound of it and the thought of all that was
yeah,
crazy. And then we get it kind of again the next week on Smack. I'm excited for where it's going. Do whoever watches other sports, obviously besides wrestling or whatever, they have like bust potential. Like when you have ESPN Fantasy Football, it'll say bust potential for the week. To me, even though it's Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, my bust potential for this match is the highest of any of the matches. Why? Because we all love Randy Orton. Everyone knows what Cody Rhodes can do. I just feel like we may be expecting something insanely crazy, and we just get like a typical match. And
yeah,
I am a little concerned about that. I said the same thing about like Drew McIntyre being entitled. So anything with this, unless it was like a fatal four way, to me seems scary. As much as we want
sure.
it to do great, I don't know if it will be great. I hope it's great. The build-up's been great so far. A lot of things can happen. Heel turns, this and that. Is Randy even a heel, or is I don't think he's a heel. He's just going crazy. But yeah, I just this is one of the matches and the storyline and stuff like that where I'm like I'm a little nervous and hope it doesn't suck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it definitely could.
And not even just on Randy's part. I mean, we saw Cody and John Cena last year kind of suck it up at WrestleMania before they actually
Exactly.
made it up and had a great match at SummerSlam that we saw. But you know what I mean?
Randy's much better in the ring than Cena, obviously, but
Exactly.
it's the same kind of thing. Like it's the same kind of situation where we're so hyped for it, and then it's like when your expectations are here, like Jade and Rhea, we can get
Yeah.
this. When
Yep.
your expectations are here, a lot of times we
It's
get this.
hard to,
So I'm
yeah,
I'm concerned about that. The other thing I want to say
100%.
about Randy before we David finishes it off, Randy Orton 2004 to 2009-10 is Randy Orton. The Randy Orton a lot of you younger kids have seen since like 2015 and after, that's not the real Randy Orton.
No.
That's a corporate I got kids now, I can't be what I used to be type of Randy Orton. And it's been great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Any Randy Orton's a great Randy Orton. But y'all need to go back, go on YouTube and watch the rated RKO Randy Orton. Watch the Randy Orton after Evolution when he was the youngest champion ever and they turned on him. Then go watch Randy Orton step in the ring with The Rock in Miami call him all sorts of names. Watch Randy Orton RKO Hulk Hogan on the back of a car. Watch
Yeah.
Randy Orton beat the hell out of Ric Flair, Batista, Edge, Cena, everyone. That Randy Orton, the GOAT. That is my favorite Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan, my favorite wrestler of all time. So I just want to say, like, I'm glad Randy Orton's still doing his thing, but sometimes I feel like he's gone. Like sometimes I feel like that's not the Randy I know, and
This
it
has
hurts a little
been,
bit, but still, I'm still happy he's there. He's
yep.
still a GOAT. And I know it's hard to say Randy Orton's underrated, but when I
Yeah.
hear a lot of people do their top five lists, Randy's never on there. It's always like Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, this and that. Orton to me has to gain and be on a lot of people's top five in my opinion, because not many people have done more than him in this business.
Yeah. He's done so much for the business. He's been around so long. I mean, he said it. We haven't gotten the conclusion to what he was exactly meaning yet, but like there is more than one royal family in wrestling and like he's a part of one. Like his family has done so much for the business all the way back to Cowboy Bob Orton and beyond that even. But yeah, I mean, you kind of covered all the bases of everything that I am thinking about this match. Like, it's another one that I am excited for, but there is some worry behind it. I mean, we've seen Cody put on a couple stinkers with guys with some older guys, but hopefully his relationship with Randy for so long allows them to just be able to put on a better match. They know each other a lot better, stuff like that. But at the same time, like we've seen Randy in big spots go out there and sell a back injury for 20 minutes. Like, we don't need to see that at WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes. But I am excited for it. I mean, everything that Randy's been doing so far, like, yeah, the crowd is still super behind him. But I think, again, we're just kind of at the point with Cody where we were at with John Cena for a long time, where we were at with Roman for a long time. Like, he's just been so shoved down everybody's throat that the crowd is just going to start to turn on him naturally. Like, Cody can be the biggest baby face in the business all he wants, but if he gets the crap kicked out of him week after week for a couple weeks by a guy like Randy Orton, the crowd's not going to boo him. You know what I mean? Like it's still Randy Orton. He can be doing the most evil stuff. Like the crowd went silent when he hit Cody with that chair on the steel steps and stuff like that. But within 5 seconds, they were cheering for him to do it again, basically.
Because he had the belt around his waist, and everyone cheered the hell out of that because he's
Yeah,
chasing that Cena Flair thing. Yeah.
yeah. So I think do think Randy is like a heel, but it's today's version of WWE's heel. Like not all the heels are getting booed. We've seen, Dirty Dom get cheered plenty of times and he's still running the whole heel gimmicks. I'm very excited for this. I do agree with you, or there's definitely some worry behind it, maybe the most between any of the at least title matches, I'd say. But Randy and Cody should at least give us a good storyline and stuff continuing into WrestleMania here. And we're supposed to have Cody back on SmackDown this coming week, so hopefully to hear from Cody after a couple weeks when he's been gone, see what happens, see if there's any more interaction between the two of them. But I think to me, last but not least, is Roman Reigns and World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. I mean, I believe we weren't on when CM Punk dropped the line of burying Roman next to his father. And then we followed into the next week where it was, Jay and Jimmy came out to confront Punk about that. So we definitely did cover that.
Yeah.
And then obviously last week, it was just kind of Roman Punk doing kind of the same back and forth. I'd say much weaker promos last week from the both of them. Just overall, like Punk ended up punching Roman because Roman called him old. There's some reports that there was supposed to be some deeper stuff that people weren't comfortable with, but whatever the case is. And then obviously what just happened tonight, literally 30 minutes ago as we're recording this, Punk and Roman closed the show again. The Usos were involved out there. There was a lot more physicality in this interaction tonight, which I very much enjoyed. I think it really needed that physicality. Obviously, Jay kind of got popped, and then Jimmy held Punk long enough for Roman to hit the Superman punch. He speared him. He sent him through the announce table on the outside. There was a bunch of stuff going on, but go ahead, Glenn. Let's hear what your thoughts are going into Roman and CM Punk.
So just under my worry level for Orton and Cody. I'm not too concerned about the build up with this. I'm not too concerned about the talking with this. These guys are going to be, great with it. I am not. Whoever wins this match, where they go after this is exactly what I'm like thinking. I'm thinking after the match right now for some reason. I'm kind of looking past it, which is obviously we're excited for WrestleMania, but
Right.
I'm kind of thinking, why do they have the Usos and the Samoan family in this? Like, what are they building for? I mean, to me, it only means The Rock, man. That's the only thing that comes to mind. It doesn't make sense to keep having Jimmy and Jay constantly involved in this if it's not going to bring the big dog, the big Samoan dog. So I'm not really this. I'm excited for it. I just don't know what the hell's going on. It's a good thing not to know every single script and detail of where something's going. That's where I'm at with this. So when you say like, what do I feel about this? I don't know. I don't.
Yeah.
I just really don't know. I feel like this is one of the things where no analyst, no podcaster, no guys like like Santi or whoever does all wrestling stuff like that that's popular and tells you everything that's going on can tell you like what to expect with this match alone. Other things
Yeah.
are so predictable. This is not. We have no idea
Yeah.
where the hell this is going. We have no idea who's gonna win the match. We have no idea what happens after. We have no idea if the Rock is coming or if someone else in the if Zilla Fatu, so many different things. I don't know. So basically, I'm excited to see what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. That's where we're going with that. I'm excited to see the next couple weeks and what
Yep.
happens at WrestleMania.
No, I agree. Like that's kind of exactly how I feel, I'd say. Like every time they're on my screen together, I'm very excited. I'm locked in. I want to hear everything they're saying. I want to see everything that's going on. I want to see the subtle things that like people are noticing. Like I'm paying attention to all the little things when those two are on my screen. But then, if you and I are playing MLB The Show and sitting in a PlayStation party and talking about this interaction, I'm kind of the same way. Like it's weird because there's so many things that run through fans like us heads as to like, okay, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen, but how many of them are realistic? Well, then, but
Right.
it is WWE, so like it could really be realistic. Like people have thrown out the entire Bloodline reunion, and then them just kind of running multiple shows now because the MFTs have built themselves up enough. And maybe it's not all the MFTs. Maybe Solo's just kind of like, I'm going back to the true bloodline. I don't need you guys anymore. You know what I mean? Like they could run a lot of different things. And honestly, I mean, if we go back just a few short years ago, like the bloodline story was the hottest thing in wrestling for a very long time. So if they want to, kick it back to that, like I wouldn't necessarily be upset. I think there's a lot of ways they could reignite that and make it real interesting again. And then in a year, maybe 2 years at WrestleMania, we just have another Samoan WrestleMania where they're all beating the crap out of each other. So, but there are a lot of things that could lead up after Roman and CM Punk. Like you said, like we don't know who's going to win. We don't know if Roman does win, how often is he going to be around? If Roman loses, what's even next for him? Like I feel like Roman's been losing a lot lately, so if Roman does lose, like then what? But I mean even Punk too. Like at least Punk I feel like is good enough, especially on the mic and stuff like that to continue to put on matches and promos and stuff like that even if he's not the champion. But where does that lead either of these guys afterwards? If they lose, if they win, what does that lead to stories? I think there's a lot going on with this match, but like I said, every time they're on my screen, I'm excited. I want to see them. I want to see everything that's going on. So overall, like it, I do agree with you as well a little bit. Like there's definitely some worry with the match, but it's deservedly, WrestleMania Night 2 main event. It's going to close the whole show. We're going to get a lot of crazy stuff, I think, with this match. There's definitely not just going to be a one-on-one Roman Punk, 15-minute wrestling match. There's going to be some craziness involved.
Yeah, and just to since we're done with that topic or whatever, we're gonna try to keep this under 30 minutes for you guys. We know obviously we're getting a little bit more viewers every week, and I know that you don't want to sit there and watch an hour, 2 hour podcast with people who aren't established yet. So we're gonna try to keep it less time. I'm just gonna go over a couple little things, and then if you want to throw in a couple more things
Yeah,
about like Raw, SmackDown. So we just watched Raw. There is one more title match. It's gonna be Becky Lynch and AJ Styles. It's gonna be Becky Lynch and AJ Lee at WrestleMania for the title,
yeah.
the Intercontinental title. That should be a decent match. That's what we all expected to happen. There's nothing even really much to say about that. Like David said earlier, we've been talking about Seth's kid got talked about again. Becky's kid. So it was that attack to the ring seemed kind of real because like maybe he's just like enough talking about my damn kid already.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be Becky and AJ. It should be an okay match. If AJ can hang, I think she can hang. It should be a good match. Anytime Becky's in a match, the crowd is into it too, so it'll be a good match. That's the first thing I just wanted to go over
I
quickly
will
in case. Go ahead.
we'll throw in this. I mean, when we talked about them when they went at it at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, a few weeks ago, whatever, originally, I said if they were going to give the title to AJ Lee, this is the time that you let her be the champion. You let her do it when all the eyes are on the product and the build up to WrestleMania. Once WrestleMania hits, I think is when you take that title off of her. I think Becky Lynch, I know this isn't our official predictions episode or anything like that, but I do think like AJ Lee, while it's been fun, like this could be the end of her run already as soon as WrestleMania.
I truly wanted Bailey in this like a triple threat match for this,
Yeah,
but now she just won a match with Lyra in a tag team, and they're probably gonna do the
multi
5 for 6
tag.
women
Yeah,
tag team thing, and so that'll be great too. But
yeah,
yeah, so that match is kind of just having a Raw. So then we put in the title Raw review. We talked
yeah.
about Raw. So
SmackDown too.
Danhausen
While you're,
again.
yeah, no, I mean
Good.
I'll even jump to SmackDown because it's another title change. While you're thinking about it, I mean we had the tag team titles change on SmackDown while we've been off the last couple of weeks. It is no longer locked into the MFT Wyatt combination. We now have Damian Priest and R-Truth as our SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I mean, they've had 3 matches together so far. They've been pretty entertaining. They've been pretty good. R-Truth was the one picking up the victory over JC Mateo this past week on SmackDown. It's been entertaining, and I think a little mix of Damian Priest is still a big enough name in the eyes of WWE, and R-Truth is, I think, kind of on that. Okay, well, it's been about a year since that whole situation with him last year. So maybe
Yeah.
if that 1 year contract rumor was true, maybe it's just kind of, like they did with AJ Styles with Dragon Lee. Like, here's the tag belts, here's your WrestleMania match. Thank you so much, R-Truth, for your 40 years in the business at this point. Like, that dude's been around forever.
Okay, quick. Also, it seems like every time R-Truth is in the like a not celebrity tag, but when he's in like a random tag team, he's always the one that does the pinning and the like. When it was him and the Miz, he went up to the ladder and got the
Yeah,
briefcase. When it was him and Miz, he's the one that got most of the pins. Like R-Truth does what R-Truth does, man, and he's
yeah.
nobody can hate R-Truth ever. The only
No,
time he was ever hated was because he was with the Miz in a tag team and they were heels, and it was
yeah,
still great.
yeah,
So shout out to that too. I just want to talk about Danhausen and like I just
yeah.
want to say we freaking told you so because y'all booed the hell out of him and now y'all love him. Number one selling T-shirt, cursing everyone. He just cursed
Uh-huh.
Show Speed today on freaking Raw.
That was
Like,
great.
come on, man. Like, I don't understand how anyone can. And even what he did in the freaking in Chicago, coming out of the coffin was great. I don't understand how he was. I know it technically wasn't him they were booing, but like Y'all didn't even give it a chance. And now
No.
y'all know exactly why this was such a big signing. Now you know why they did what they did
Hmm.
to reveal him. Because he is a big deal. He's
Yeah.
100% a big deal. He is what WWE loves and needs. You need the comedy type of thing where like, and he's a big name that people love. The kids need someone to buy a T-shirt or stuff like. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Danhausen again on Raw today. Curse Ice Show Speed. That was the and with Mr. Bouncy Evans. Him and Speed had a little thing.
Yeah.
You want to sign Ice Show Speed to some kind of contract and put them in a tag team or something? That would be kind of crazy. They would probably
Yeah.
go hard. That would probably be kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
No, and the other thing with
Yeah, once again,
Danhausen
Evans
too,
won today on Raw too, so
yeah,
he
Evans
keeps
Evans
winning
is
and winning and winning.
Evans has been great, and the other thing with Danhausen too, while we were on the topic, is like he's been showing up on every show. You know what I mean? Like every Raw,
Yep.
every SmackDown, like he's there. He's obviously he's not having matches and stuff yet, but like he doesn't need to. Danhausen, like I've seen a lot of people saying like, okay, when's his first match gonna be? Like, okay, this is getting boring. Like, is he ever gonna wrestle? Like, he will. He definitely will at some point, and you're gonna be shocked then too because he's great in the ring. But for now, especially, like he doesn't need to. He is so entertaining. Everybody loves him from the kids to the adults. Like if you're still hating on Danhausen, like Glenn said, like you're just wrong. Like Danhausen's entertaining. It's what WWE wants. It's what WWE needs. Like he is for the people, and it's been great. Ever since he debuted, like I've been very excited. Just waiting for him to pop up on the screen.
And the last two things of like to talk about for WrestleMania season, Fatu and Drew McIntyre. Again, I told you guys since day one, if this happened, I won't be excited for it. I think we already saw the most exciting parts of what's gonna happen. Them just killing each other nonstop. They're kind of doing the Rusev Sheamus thing, where every week and every like they'll go after each other one segment, then they'll do a match with just like random
And they're
people, and then they'll
still
come
going
back and
at
they're
it.
still fighting. So I mean, we've seen it before already. There's not unless you put this in a fiery cage. You give me an Inferno cage match, maybe I'll be into it. But like, this isn't what's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a fatal four for the title. They screwed
Yeah,
us. I don't know why. I don't know why it's Fatu versus Drew, but maybe they can shock us. Like I said, when you're down here, maybe you can get up here. But I'm
yeah,
not excited for it. But it is happening. That's what's going on SmackDown. Is Drew and Fatu are just beating the hell out of each other. So
yeah,
if you didn't see it, you're caught up with that. Last but not least, like David said, with like Io Sky, she's not doing anything right now. And basically, today on Raw, Bailey and Lyra, they just called out Lash Legend and
Naya.
what's her name? Naya. What's her name? Why do I keep Naya? There we go, Naya. And she's lost so much weight, a different person. But yeah, like that's what's going on with that. We don't know what the hell's going on with probably the most over female wrestler in the entire business. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. David, if you want to talk about that and anything else I forgot, then we could close it out.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think, like, we kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier briefly. Like, I definitely think there's going to be some form of multi-women ladder match, tag match, mumble jumble, whatever the case is. Usually we get it in some men's version, but I think we are going to get it with the women this year. We have Charlexa with Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. We have the current champions of Lash and Nia. We have the Bella twins returning who are running this division. We could, I know Bailey and Lyra are obviously there, and they just beat the Kabuki Warriors tonight, but you could absolutely throw the Kabuki Warriors into a match like this. I mean, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of possibility for entertainment in a match that's like this. So, there's still a lot of even with taking Rhea and Io out of the tag team title picture in the women's division, there's still a lot of big names. There's still a lot of value in that division. And I don't think anybody would have ever expected the women's tag division to get this deep and this entertaining.
He's eventually going to beat the hell out of Asuka too, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
it's going to. Maybe
Yeah.
even a new tag team between Io Sky and Kai. I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah.
that'd be kind of crazy too. So
It would be like my biggest thing. So I guess I will talk on that a little bit. My biggest thing with that, I think, is they clearly don't see it as like WrestleMania worthy or like whatever because I think they had the perfect setup. They've kind of been building it to split up Asuka and Kyrie, and it would like you can treat that as a night one like middle of the night match, and I think plenty of your actual wrestling fans would still be entertained because Asuka and Kyrie would be able to put on a great match. And you could honestly get EO involved in that and have the three of them go at it, and they might have match of the night. I mean, like those three have the great chemistry. They've been wrestling for so long together. WWE kind of had that in their hand, and I'm not going to call it a fumble because they can still put on a great story after WrestleMania. Maybe something happens at WrestleMania that makes them officially split. Who knows what the case is, but it is interesting. The women's tag division is deep. It's got a lot of people in it. It's got a lot of teams. I think we get that multi-women match at WrestleMania, and that'll definitely be entertaining. I think whatever comes out of that, whether it be the Bellas or Bailey and Lyra, who knows? But I think we're going to be entertained by that match for sure. So, anything else you think of before we head on out of
Yeah,
here?
like just last but not least, we'll finish it. We don't know what the hell's going on with the U.S. title. We don't know who's gonna fight for
Or the
that. We don't
IC
know
for
what
that
the.
matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Penta
Yeah.
did wrestle today on Raw. Obviously won. We don't know what the hell's gonna happen with that. Those two, we just gotta wait. So there's nothing to really talk about except for the fact that they both did wrestle. Mello and Penta did
Yep.
wrestle, and we don't know what the hell LA Knight's doing. He's with the Usos in the backstage, and
And then
they're
arguing
yelling
with
and arguing
them.
with each
Yeah.
other, talking about this and that. Who the hell knows what he's going to be doing? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what's going
Yeah.
on.
All right, guys. Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything we needed to cover here between Glenn and I with SmackDown and Raw. Obviously, as we get going, we get a little more listeners. If you guys want to start requesting it, I know Glenn and I dabble a little bit still with NXT and TNA, so maybe we can throw a little 5 minute segment on the end of shows for those if we need to in the future. Just let us know. But make sure whatever platform you're listening on, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're following. I believe on Spotify still the whole thing is like leave a 5-star review or whatever the case is. Make sure you follow us on the TikTok, on the Facebook, on the Instagram. I believe it's Triple Threat Analysis on all platforms. So, like I said, follow, like, all that stuff. Y'all have a good one. Stay excited for WrestleMania season. We are here.